we're working with many young people. I find this core value to be very, very important to this organization. So steadiness is connected to stability, reliability, and sensible. Stability. How stable are you? How stable are you? So for me, I know since I've done this and I don't know if God has given me some wisdom, I've worked with some people who are not stable. And even sometimes myself, the time that I've not been stable. And every single time I know this time I'm not acting in stability. I'm not acting in stability. I'm not stable at this time. So stability is or reliability. Can we rely on you? Well, some of you are young people. Can we rely on you? Maybe you're in a relationship. Your boyfriend, your girlfriend broke up with you. And that day you have a session, you have a tutoring session to go. Can you still rely on you to go? Or you're going to lie to us and give a false excuse that I am sick? Can we rely on you to rise over storms? This is what I've been learning over the past 2 years, that no matter what happens, I have to rise. Even when things are hard, I have to stay reliable. I have to stay reliable. Even when things are very hard, we have to stay reliable. Emotions. Your emotions. If you can regulate your emotions, that shows that you're steady, you're reliable. Just because one parent yelled at you, you no longer want to become a tutor, you no longer want to work for us. Maybe there is a problem with payment, because these problems are going to be, as long as you're in Tanzania and you are Tanzanian, you too, you at some point you borrowed money from people and you didn't even pay them on time at some point, because there are some emergencies. As long as you're a human being, you have to know these things are going to be there. So what happens when there is a delay in your payment? Are you going to quit the organization because there's a delay? Are you going to think that you're scammers? How are you going to react? Steadiness is very, very important. So you need to try as much as you can to be stable. Know what you're doing, know what you've been employed to do, and stick to that. And pace yourself and know that we too are humans. We're also not expecting you to be perfect. We're expecting you to make mistakes, but we're expecting you to be ready and willing to correct your mistakes and learn from your mistakes, and probably not repeating the same mistakes every day. Sensible. Be sensible. Number 4 is integrity towards those you serve. We talked about integrity yesterday. Integrity is the quality of being honest, that you have strong moral principles that you refuse to change. Quality of being honest, that you have strong moral principles that you refuse to change. People cannot break you because you are very honest and you have strong moral principles. Your life is connected. You have surrounded yourself with strong moral principles that you refuse to change. I cannot steal from this company. I cannot steal from people who trust in me. I cannot take this work lightly. Just because nobody's watching me, nobody's observing me, I cannot play. I cannot take this lightly. I'm going to give it all that I have. Every job to me is important. I cannot just start talking anyhow about this organization. Just because you quarreled with one supervisor, you cannot just go go out there and start talking anyhow about the organization. No, that's not a good organization. Do not join that organization. As a matter of fact, I quarreled with this supervisor. They did this. Don't join them. They're not good people. No. You're not perfect. You are too not perfect. So make sure that you have integrity. And I said here, integrity means to be one. What you say is what you do. You don't say something else and do something else and then promise something else. People are not, we don't have integrity. They say this, they do something else, and they promise something else. They don't have integrity. Integrity toward those you serve means you know what you are doing, you know what you've been employed to do, you know what you're trying to achieve in that job. So you work hard to achieve it with high integrity. You're not ready to compromise. You're not ready to compromise. Let me give one example of a boy. There was a boy called Joseph. This boy had many brothers. This boy had many good dreams. He had big dreams. So his brothers were very jealous of him because of his big dreams. He had dreamed that he was going to become big. He was going to raise over his brothers. And he was young. Joseph was very young compared to his brothers. So his brothers thought, his brothers actually wanted to kill him. But they ended up selling him to go somewhere. They ended up selling him. And then they went home and told their father that Joseph was killed. But they sold him because they were jealous of him. This Joseph was sold. He went and stayed in a country called Egypt. And fortunately was bought to become a servant in a house of a person who was working for the president of that country. So someone was working for the president of that country, and that person actually hired Joseph to be a servant in his house. So right now we can say maybe it was, I don't know, maybe a shamba boy, whatever you can call him in our time. But he was there. He was maybe a gardener. We don't know what he was doing. Maybe he was the one, but I think he was actually, and he gained more favor. He found more favor in his masters that his master put him on charge of everything. Like he put him on charge of everything. Said that you're in charge of everything here in my house. So his master would sometimes travel, and then he would leave everything to Joseph because he trusted Joseph and he knew that Joseph was going to take care of everything in that house. One day something happened. The wife of that master who hired Joseph wanted to sleep with Joseph. Joseph's boss wife wanted to sleep with him. The wife of his boss wanted to sleep with him. But Joseph said, no, there's no way. I cannot do this. I cannot do this sin. He ran away. Now, I'm trying to think how many of us would have taken that opportunity? Because this person was sold. He was in a different country, he was in a foreign country. And this woman, the wife of the boss, wanted to sleep with him. So many of us maybe would have taken that opportunity because our favors maybe would think, after sleeping with her, probably I'm going to be more favored in this house. I'm going to get more gifts, whatever. I'm going to be more favored. I'm going to get more opportunity in this house. But Joseph had a very strong integrity. He said, no, I cannot do this. He ran away. That's some high level integrity. That Joseph had some principles around his life. He said, no, I'm not ready to violate my principles. I'm not ready to break my moral principles. He ran away. Forget about the favor that can come after sleeping with you. Forget about pleasure and anything else. He ran away. When it is time to run away, we advise you run away. Use wisdom, right? You run away when it's time to run away. When it is time to run away, you run away. If I had time, I'll give you a story about my life, about one client that I was working with. And this woman became too close to me, and I was in trouble. Because she started sharing things with me that I don't think she was wise. So I had to put her off. I had to put her off. As a matter of fact, I had to stop working there. This is an Indian family. So when it's time to run away, you make that decision. Don't break your moral principles.